Anyways, there is a lot of things we could talk about when it comes to Larry. But just before we continue the conversation with Larry, I want to talk a little bit about his wife and how he made like a bad choice. A lot of people might say, "Oh, it's pretty obvious that he made a bad choice." That's like in retrospective when all of those videos came out, it's easy to say. But let's say you're in the shoes of Larry, what kind of signs you should be looking for to kind of guess if she's a good would be if she would be a good wife or not. And like the red flags are all over her. It's pretty obvious like what she is. She's like basically a Miami grifter, like the type of girls that go on the Fresh and Fit podcast just looking for clouts. It doesn't matter how they're gonna get it, all they want is clout, right? She's basically that kind of girl, and let me explain to you why. So you see those girls, especially like attractive girls, who put a lot of effort into looking good. They built their whole identity around their appearance. And when somebody's putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of effort and they give away a lot of mental like power to try to construct an image, and they build their whole identity around it, they're doing it to receive validation. Why? Because it's part of their identity. So to feel accepted, they need to be validated because they build their whole identity around it. So let's take this girl for example. She's probably has done facial surgeries. She's probably has fake boobs and all that comes with it. And she wants to have that attention from guys. She's not a girl who wants to get married and only receive attention from one guy. That's like super foolish to assume that and to believe it. you know how you gonna spend your whole life building an identity around your look and you're gonna give it away for one guy. you know so it's clearly like a plan, like a goal of her to marry a high status person, but not to stay with him, like just to elevate herself, to get more eyeballs on her. And then especially that guy is rich, so when they're gonna divorce, she's gonna receive some money, she's gonna receive the clout. She's like winning in all situations, like in all possible scenarios she's winning. So by marrying Larry, she didn't really make a sacrifice because Larry is unable to check her. He's unable to put her in her place. He's unable to educate his wife properly, because he's a simp and she knew it. For her, he was an easy prey. That's like plain and obvious because he's a super simp. We're gonna go over why he's a super simp, but he is. You know? So let's say, like, just to go back to the main topic about her, like, she built her whole identity around her looks. Do you really think she's gonna give it up for one guy? No matter how rich and powerful that guy is, she's only gonna see him as a means to an end, and that's what Larry is. She's never gonna give up all the attention and the validation she received from all the men in the world because she's addicted to it, and being a wife means you kind of have to give it up, because she doesn't know anything else. Do you really think she's gonna content herself with raising kids or taking care of her home or just supporting Larry behind the curtains? You know, she's never gonna do that. She's addicted to the attention she received from all those men, you know, and she's addicted to it. On top of that, I'm pretty sure Larry, he's not good in bed, you know. We already know he was, but we're gonna go over that later. But I'm pretty sure like she had like a pretty active sexual life before she met Larry, and she had a lot of different sexual partners, you know, who really like had their fun with her, you know, and she had her fun too. And she's still young, she's still pretty, she's still like thinking about it, you know, just the way she talks about other men, her looks at other men. It's certain that she's entertaining the idea over and over and over again in her head. She's entertaining her past, and she's still entertaining her future. That's why she was eyeballing Rampage, you know? Anyway, just to say that a girl who built all her personality on her look, she will never be satisfied with only one guy. You know, that's kind of like the wife of Steph Curry or Jada, you know? Like they're like Jada especially, like she built her career, I guess, around her look a little bit. You know, maybe she's talented in acting, but you know, I guess her look got her to somewhat where she is. So she's kind of like, her personality is still attached to how they look. Like most girls, their personality is attached to how they look. And it's very hard for them to give up the attention and the validation they get from so many men, you know. And in the case of the wife, quote unquote wife, because she's not a wife, not at all, she's only a wife on paper, you know. In the case of the wife of Larry, she ain't gonna give it up. And yeah, Larry made a big mistake, and that's why he's a simp. Now, I had to put that out there to explain to you why Larry is a simp. Alright? Now, what I explained to you about his wife is like a big piece of it, you know, because if you're not able to perceive that by yourself, you know, you decide to marry a girl only for her look, like you kind of asked for it, you know. Like what was like the process behind, like you were gooning like that's Larry. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He was scrolling on Instagram, probably gooning, and then like he like DM'd that girl, and like she reciprocated some interest, and like he was like, oh shit, yeah, well, she's interested in me, like she's super like good to goon to her. And like he decided to get engaged and get married. I don't know what was the process exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was something ridiculous like that. Like he didn't do any type of screening, you know. And no screening is necessary, just by looking at her and how she behaved. Like she's not even trying to hide her intention, you know. Like she finds other men attractive, but you don't marry a person if you still find other person attractive. You're not his girlfriend, you're supposed to be his wife, you know. Even for a girlfriend, like it's unacceptable, you know, to speak like that. But like you're supposed to be his wife, and you're signaling interest to other men like in his face. It's pretty fucking crazy, if you ask me. So anyway, she's a gold digger. She's probably like a whore, I don't know. And she's not even hiding it. So Larry only went for the looks, and you can see there's no chemistry at all between them, like zero. I don't feel any chemistry. They don't, like, they're super uncomfortable around each other. It's super awkward all the time, you know. I guess that there's some sort of there's some sort of complicity behind the scenes, but it's gonna disappear pretty soon. As soon as she took everything she could take from him, but you can see in front of the cameras, it's super awkward, there is no chemistry. So Larry, he's a simp for only going for the look, because all of his girlfriends are super attractive. Previous girlfriend were super attractive, but like there were no complicity, like with his ex-girlfriend. I don't know if he had like how many he had, but I know with one of his exes, like he was spending thousands of dollars on cam girls when he had a girlfriend. So that's like another reason why he's a simp, because you spend a lot of money on cam girls on the internet when you can go for free on porn, but you choose to give away your money to try to buy the interest. It's super like stupid, and it's honestly it's super disgusting while you had a girlfriend. So maybe you can blame the steroids. Like I heard, when you take Tren, your libido goes through the roof. So maybe he's not like thinking straight. But there is other people on Tren who act normally and have a wife, and they're not simping. They have like a normal married life. But in the case of Larry, he doesn't. You can see he doesn't know that well how to navigate with women. He lacks a lot of charisma. That's why he lacks charisma. He lacks character. There is a big PR team behind him. No pun intended, because that's his personal brand. But like, there is a super big PR team behind him that made him who he is. But by himself, he lacks a lot of charisma. And he doesn't know. He's a simp. He doesn't know how to keep his woman in check, and they obviously walk all over him. So you might think it's pretty sad, but I don't think it's sad, because she's a gold digger and she's not even like hiding it. But he's so delusional that he didn't even sign a prenup, and he tells to the whole world that he trusts her. You're only gonna look super foolish when you're not gonna be with her anymore. He reminds me a little bit of Rich Piano, rest in peace. Just not too long before he died, like he was simping for a Scandinavian girl who was stealing his money and cheating it behind his back. It's pretty much the same situation, like a fitness influencer only going for like the most beautiful women he can find, but they're simping so much for them that they are not able to keep them in check, and they're just doing whatever they want. Why would she be faithful to you if you're not keeping her in check? Like, you're giving her all the money she wants, you're not keeping her in check. Like, she basically, because you have no balls, maybe you have no balls because you took so much steroids, your balls didn't, like, spiritually they stopped working, but like, because you have no balls, like, she's still able to live a life of celibacy. You're giving them money and you're not keeping them in check, so you're basically just a bank account. Anyway, like, I'm rambling a lot, I'm gonna end the video there. But yeah, like, Larry, he's a super simp. His wife, like, she's a gold digger and she's not even hiding it. So I mean, that's on him. See you next time.